What's up, guys? Jeremy here again with another episode of Feature Friday, where I find a really good piece of hockey content and share it with you. This one is from Zach over at 24/7 Hockey. He has all kinds of great content on his channel. In this featured interview with Zach, he does an interview with the assistant coach of the Detroit Red Wings. Amazing content. The full video is about an hour long, but I shortened it to about 15 minutes with some of my favorite clips. If you want to see the whole video, and I definitely recommend it, I'll put a link right up here in the corner somewhere. You can click on that and see the whole hour-long video. But if you just want some of the highlights, stay tuned and check out this video.
All right, 24/7 Hockey. I'm here today with Pat Weiler, assistant coach for the Detroit Red Wings. So what we're going to do here is we're really just going to dive in to, I've got a list of questions here that are going to hopefully help you understand, what the mindset is of an NHL coach. Also, Pat has had experience coaching at the Division I level. He's had experience as a hockey director and as a coach at the AAA level and as an elite player himself. So really, Pat, we've got this entire range of experience that you can draw on because, I think it's so interesting to look at your AAA experience and then bring that all the way through to Division I to the NHL. And I mean, talk about someone who's got the knowledge base that, some of these kids that are in high school, you can really relate to. All right, I've seen it at every level,
Yeah, and it's because it's happened fairly quickly for me, Zach, and certainly I've been lucky to get the opportunities I've got. But some of the kids at the AAA level when I was coaching are now young NHL players. So
Yep.
I've seen the transition. I've followed them right up through college and kind of into the NHL on their time frame. So it's the Brandon Sodds of the world, these kind of guys, Vince Trocheck. Watch these guys as young players, and then now watch them mature into real nice NHL players. I think it's all our goals to make the National Hockey League. It certainly was my goal as a player, and I think I worked as hard as I possibly could, and I didn't make it. But then I get to leave the game with no regrets.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how do you get to the NHL? I think would be the first thing kids want to know, and I would say be great at the level you're at.
Yeah.
Don't look to a next level. Wherever you're at, treat it like you're NHL. Be great there. Be as good as you can, work as hard as you can, and listen to try to get better every day. And if you do those things, the next level will notice. Then you get to the next level, and one by one, you can move up those levels. You can't look to the NHL. That's unrealistic from wherever you're at. Your goal should be to be great where you're at, and then to somehow achieve the next level.
Is there a difference in the progression with body language? Is there a difference in the progression with the AAA guys to the D1 guys to the NHL guys in terms of when you talk to them, what's their body language like? Where are their eyes? Do you notice that? I mean, talk to me about that because I'm fascinated by this.
It's there's not a difference in the great ones in my mind because they're engaged.
Yep.
They're listeners and they still want to get better every single day. So even the guys at the NHL level that are engaged, a young guy, Dylan Larkin, comes up and, I'll work with him on one-timing shots. But he's engaged, he's listening, he's attempting to do what I'm talking about. At the college level, we had a great success with lots of defensemen signed in the National Hockey League. We changed little things about their game. They're engaged in the same way. So I think great players and truly players that want to succeed are listeners and are willing to change and engage in that conversation. I think guys that think they're right immediately or think they know more than the coach at that time are generally the guys that you're going to find are complaining that they got cheated by the game or that they've been wronged in some way when really they've chosen their own path.
How do you communicate mindset and the importance of mindset? Where do you stand on that?
Well, I think, mindset approach to me is to truly be great at something, you need inner drive. And I really believe if you want to be a great salesman, a great engineer, whatever you want to be, you have to have inner drive to really attack that. And I think anybody who's really trying to achieve great needs a little bit of crazy in their approach to what they want to do. Like if you want to play in the National Hockey League, then you have to chase it as hard as you possibly can, even though you probably aren't going to make it. But you have to chase it with a crazy, a little bit of crazy in your attitude and your approach of nothing will stop me from achieving my goal. And if you have that mindset, I'm going to chase it as hard as I can, do the absolute best that I can, everything I can to make the National Hockey League. again, if you don't make it, at least you can retire or stop playing with peace of mind. And if you don't do that, which I've certainly seen in the minors, tremendously skilled players, guys that should be stars in the National Hockey League that ended up only playing in the minors because they weren't willing to chase it every day or didn't have a little crazy in their game and their will, their desire, their approach. If you don't have that, you won't make it, or you'll make it for a cup of coffee and you'll be right back down. So I think to be great at anything, you need that type of mindset.
I use the word obsessed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it can have a negative connotation to it, but like, how else do you do it? Like, you got to be just that into it,
100%. It's a lifestyle. And that's at anything, though. To really achieve at the highest level, it's not just, oh, you're crazy, you love hockey. We do love hockey. You love hockey. I love hockey. That's why we do hockey. But to be great at anything, you need to chase it.
So you said that, if they have a little bit of that crazy, if they're obsessed, if they're going after it 100%, they probably won't make it, which I agree with. But the inverse of that is that if you don't attack it like that, if you're taking some shortcuts, if you're not that obsessed, if you don't have that crazy, I mean, is the answer that you definitely won't make it then? Like, you've lost even that little.
Honestly, I think it is. And we all look over and say, oh, that guy's so talented. He's so gifted. He's meant to play hockey, and he made it. I had the pleasure this year of coaching Pavel Datsyuk, and everybody, for my money, he's the best player in the league for the last 10 years as far as overall, ability, playing both sides of the puck. Obviously, he's magic with the puck. But without the puck, I think he's been the best defensive forward in the league for 10 years. And to watch him work on a daily basis, he's 37 years old. He's turning 38 this summer. Pavel isn't just talented. Pavel is as hard a worker as there is in the National Hockey League. And he's been that way, that I was told, since the day he stepped here in Detroit and probably before that. So the guys that you say are gifted or talented, they're not just gifted or talented. They are crazy hard workers, and that allows their ability, their skill, their talent to show through. If you don't have it, you don't chase it, you're not going to allow that skill to show through. And could you possibly play in the National Hockey League? For a bit. But can you make a career in the National Hockey League or make a career of being an elite pro player? I don't think you can. So just the chance, I say chances are you're not going to make it, because those are the real life things. But throw that out the window. Chase your dream. I chased it as hard as I possibly could. I got to play 8 years of professional hockey in the minors. I don't regret one day or 1 second of that. I would do it all over again and give the same effort, not knowing, or even if I did know. But you have to chase it to give yourself even a chance of playing at that level. I forget who said it, but I think it might have been it was a football guy, though, that said you have to have the ability to work through boredom. So it's, can you work on those skills that some people would say, oh, it's boring to work on, it's boring, but in reality, that's the difference of greatness or not, and winning or not, and maybe your place in the team or not. So if you can learn, again, like I said earlier, to love that process of working on all those little things, then you have a chance of success, not at just the level you're at, but the next level and at every level above it.
We talk about inner drive, but what's the connection there? Is it training more hockey specific? Is it not spending your time on the wrong things? Is there anything that you can recommend that these kids are doing for that?
Honestly, I think the number one thing is just eliminate your own mental barriers. Don't, I haven't got there yet. I haven't done this. I've worked hard, but I haven't achieved it. Just chase it. Just keep working. I don't think, hockey specific. Lots of people are talking about that. I think you have to be the best athlete you can be. Work as hard as you can at getting better at things. We like to call it deliberate practice. So don't attend to achieve. Deliberate practice. It's like going to hit I just came from the driving range. Did I throw a bucket of balls down and just whack them out there and not care where they went? Well, that's what does that do for me? Or am I trying to hit every shot well? So deliberate practice. I'm attending practice. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing sprints. I'm shooting pucks. I'm not just shooting a bunch of pucks in the net. I'm trying to shoot it as hard as I can for a spot every single time. Deliberately trying to do something to get better, not just attending, but trying to achieve in all those things. So I think deliberate practice is a way to, the thought of really having something to focus on and practice toward that is going to show results certainly faster.
What do you consider hockey sense, and do you think that a player can develop their hockey sense? Can they improve in hockey sense, or do you think they have to find a role where, you are what you are, and you have to be able to have success in this role?
Right. I think to me, I define hockey sense as just good decision makers, right? The guy's, he's smart. He's got great hockey sense. To me, that just means he's making correct decisions over and over and over again. Well, then it's our jobs as coaches is to put them in as many of those situations on a repeated basis as we can, so they're constantly making the right decisions. They see those things over and over, and we have the simplest drills. Even in the National Hockey League, we have simple drills. We had simple drills in the American Hockey League. We have simple drills at Division I level, and they're all meant to build habits. And I think they have the habit of making the right decision because we've put them in those spots over and over again, and now it looks the same to them. So they're not caught in a first time. I haven't seen this before. They know I'm here. I get pressure from here. The puck goes there. I get pressure from here. The puck goes there. Is that hockey sense, or have we built a habit of making the right decision? I think coaches take the easy way out sometimes and say, can't build hockey sense. Of course you can. It's repeated correct decisions is hockey sense, in my opinion, and maybe other people will disagree. But so can we build on that? Yes. Let's put them in positions that we see routinely on the ice and teach them how to make the correct decision. If the pressure comes from here, the puck goes there. If it comes from the inside, it goes to the outside. Or I'm supporting it in this way when he's in trouble. These things are all things that we can recreate as coaches and help our players make correct decisions.
One thing that a player can actually work on that's going to give them the best chance of making the NHL?
Skating. I have to go back to it. I honestly believe the number one limiting factor to any next level, from where you're at to the next level, and certainly in the National Hockey League, is skating. Great skaters are going to give themselves an opportunity for lots of different roles. Not great skaters are going to have limited roles, and then there's even more limited spots. The spots are already limited the way they are. Give yourself a chance by being the best skater you can be, and then which allows some of your other skills to show.
So the last thing I want to talk to you about is D1 bound hockey, which I know you've put together with a couple different players or a couple different coaches and people. Sean Podine was one of them. Talked a little bit about what that is and what type of program it is and essentially who it's for and why a player should go.
Well, D1 bound is as a Minnesota guy who loves Minnesota. I didn't get the chance to play. I played at Western Michigan University, but I love the universities in Minnesota. And I think, as a young player, I didn't have exposure to them like I wanted when I was coming up through. So number one, how do I know where to go? How do I know what college I even like? How do I get in touch with Division I coaches? And so D1 bound is something that Sean and I put together. This year it involves University of Minnesota, University of Duluth, and University of St. Cloud University. So a kid can come and he stays the night at University of Minnesota. He wakes up in the morning. He practices with 4 Division I coaches. Gets a tour of campus. Gets some talk about maybe at the University of Minnesota it's rules on recruiting for NCAA. So now I understand, hey, I'm not getting called every day. Well, I can only get called once a month. Little things through the recruiting process that they can learn. I can contact Division I coaches long before they can contact me. So should I do that? Things we can help kids out of understanding the recruiting process and getting them on these campuses. Then you drive that night, you go to Duluth, you stay over the night, you repeat the process. 4 different Division I coaches, practice with them. So each of these Division I coaches may stress a different skill on the ice, a different thing, a different way of hearing things. So you get to see them, you get to see Duluth campus. Then you'll play a game each afternoon against a different team. You'll go to St. Cloud that night. You'll wake up. You'll get 4 other Division I coaches. So D1 Bound is going to expose you to 12 Division I coaches, 3 practices with Division I coaches, see things that they think are important that you can maybe take back to your game. And it's also going to give you exposure to their campuses, them as people. Who do I like as a staff? What campus do I find intriguing to myself? Do I like a bigger campus? Am I more intrigued by a smaller campus? These kind of things. So I think it's a great exposure that way for the player, and certainly gives 12 Division I coaches a free look at you as a player, because once you're on campus, they get more access to you than when you're not on campus, for sure.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting when I was first learning about it, the fact that you're actually on the ice with the coaches.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I just don't
that made it really unique.
With the exception of the development camps in New York, I don't know where else you can do that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for you to let the coaches know what kind of personality you have as a player, and for them to learn about you. They may be interested in you already as a player. They may have seen you play already as a player. Now they're going to say, is he a kid who listens? Does he work hard? Is he a kid that I want to continue to recruit because he's got some of those attributes that I think are important for successful teams?
Is it for both boys and girls?
Boys and girls,
Okay.
on different weeks. The girls are in August and the boys will be in July. So we're pretty excited to be able to offer both those. And the girls hockey in Minnesota has obviously exploded and is a great thing right now. And so we're excited to give them exposure to those great programs.
Great. What is the main age groups of the kids that should consider signing up for this? What is the age, and then how do they get signed up, or how do they learn more?
They can go on the internet, D1 Bound Hockey, and it's on our website. The age groups are Bantam and up. So
Okay.
Bantams will be separated, and then the midget/high school age groups. Again, we'll break them into 2 as far as like first 2 years of midget or high school, and then second 2 years that way. So as much as possible, you're playing within your age group against players that should look like you and should give you a good challenge, so we can really show players' abilities and skills against similar players.
Great. It's definitely something that I think is unique from what I've seen out there right now. I recommend players check it out, and the URL, I believe it's d1boundhockey.com, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm going to link that up also below the video, so any players that are interested can just check that out right there. If they have any questions or anything like that, I've been to the website. It looks like you guys have pretty good information, pretty good details on the website. Pat, I can't thank you enough, man. Like, I just think that your willingness to come here and spend some time with us, this is going to change the trajectory for some players, for sure, without a doubt. I know that for a fact, and so I appreciate your time.
Well, good. Thanks, Zach, and good luck to all the young players out there.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you want to see more from Zach, and I definitely recommend it, subscribe to his channel. I'll put a link in the video description. Also, hit the subscribe button right here, because we do new hockey videos every single week. And next week on Monday, I've got an amazing video with a skating instructor all the way from Sweden. So stay tuned for that. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next video.